Now, I think that nature can be pretty shitty sometimes, but nevertheless, I don't want to see it destroyed. Whenever I think of the Earth, I simply cannot see it as anything other than blue, green, and white. Many people tend to think pessimistically about the future of nature because many people just want to destroy it for profit. I don't like this idea, and I've also showed frustration upon hearing Trump's lift on importing elephant ivory into the United States. But here I'm going to take a positive note and list 10 animals that have been saved from extinction, and by all things, by humans. Number 10 is the California condor. This vulture is native to the rocky shrublands and oak savannas of the United States. However, due to the reduction of megafauna and poaching, the population dramatically declined in the 20th century. In 1987, the animal became extinct in the wild with only 27 individuals remaining in human captivity. In Los Angeles and San Diego, the birds were exposed to captive breeding while also being available to viewers and tourists. In as little as 1991, they were released into the Californian wilderness, and then in 1996, they saw refuge in national parks in Utah and Arizona. As of December 2016, there were 446 condors, and their numbers are steadily increasing. Number 9, the Siberian tiger. Now, these beauties are native to Siberia, China, Mongolia, and the Korean peninsula, and in the past have been victims to hunting because of their fur. The animal has been included in the site's appendix, and over the years, nations have been tightening their grip on conservation efforts. 1992 saw the commencement of the Siberian Tiger project, which had the aim of outfitting all tigers with radio collars so that all their patterns could be studied and to make sure that none of them would disappear. As of recently, it is estimated the Siberian tiger population has doubled over the past 10 years at around 600. The mountain gorilla goes into number 8. This primate lives in Central Africa, mostly in Uganda, Rwanda, and the Democratic Republic of Congo. Many of them have been killed off for fur and have been illegally kept in zoos. Also, because of the wars in Africa, many refugees have fled into the wilderness, where confrontation has often turned deadly. However, this animal has been put in 3 large national parks and is being protected by armed guards. It is believed that there are around 880 of them in the continent. Number 7 is the brown pelican, which is native to the North American Atlantic coast and has almost disappeared in the area due to the appearance of pesticide DDT. In order to save them, they were protected by the Endangered Species Act. They were reintroduced first into Louisiana in the 1970s and have been delisted in 1985, with other regions being delisted in 2009. It is estimated that over 24,000 of them are in the wild in North America. At number 6, there is the Corroboree Frog. This little guy lives in the southern tablelands of Australia and had almost been wiped out due to a nasty fungus disease. The Australian Amphibian Research Centre began a captive breeding effort in order to get as many as possible into the wild. At number 5, we have the European red squirrel. This curious little fellow lives in most of Europe. A distant cousin called the grey squirrel has begun a sort of war against the red one, while humans have also contributed to its population decline. Many efforts are being done to save this little animal, especially in the British Isles. It is believed that they can live up to 10 years, which also leads conservation centers to make them healthier before releasing them into the wild. Number 10, the Aleutian Canadian goose. The Aleutians are a string of islands connected to Alaska, and the population of Canadian geese was almost wiped out after the population introduced foxes for fur hunting. In 1975, there were only 790 individuals left, but after removing all the predators, they made a miraculous recovery. As of 2011, there are over 111,000 of them. At number 3, we have the island night lizard. This California island's native was so endangered in 1977 that there were no accurate records as to how many there were left. The animal became endangered because of humans introducing pigs, goats, and cats to the area, which then began to feed on the lizards. For 20 years, between the 1970s and 1990s, the Fish and Wildlife Conservation Act relocated them to St. Clement Island, where they are now a whopping 21 million individuals across the entire island. Since I love snakes, at number 2, I'll put the Lake Erie water snake, which saw a small population of 5,000 in 2001 due to human interference and unregulated killing. However, due to the program led by Dr. Richard King, a conservation effort was supposed to last 10 years, rose the population by 6% every single year. By 2011, the animal had reached a population of 12,000 individuals, more than double. And finally, with the icon of the United States, we have the American bald eagle. In the 18th century, it was believed that there were around 3 million of them in Anglo-America. Yet, with trapping so common, only about 400 of them remained in the 1950s. Pesticide DDT also affected the bird's ability to either lay healthy eggs or lay eggs at all. With the Bald and Golden Eagle Protection Act being signed in 1940, the population was greatly cared for, and any captivity of the eagle required a permit. By 1992, the population had reached an estimated 112,000, and in 1995, the animal was removed from the endangered species to the threatened species list. The population still grew, and in 2007 it was removed from the list of threatened species in general. So there you go, it's not all bad stuff. I mean, in the future we're going to save more species, and you can be quite sure nature will have its role.